Okay, so I would hold on. Hey Puzzy Buddies, welcome back to my channel. Originally, the plan for today's video was to do a farmer's market from Be Rooted, but I was just watching Karen Puzzle's like recap videos from Nationals, and now I kind of want to revisit my Nationals puzzle. So that's what we're going to do today. I've mentioned this for a while now, but I have a plan that I think will make this a little bit more fun. So I got this puzzle from the Puzzle Swap a little while ago, but this one is, I don't even know, it's from a brand. It don't have a name, it don't have a brand. It just says Jigsaw Puzzle. I don't know, but this one's 300 pieces, and I want to do this one in this video because it kind of reminds me of my puzzle from Nationals. So I was in preliminary round A, and this is the puzzle that we had. It's the 500 piece Ravensburger. It's called Tropical Vibes. And I just feel like these two, they have like similar vibes, similar feelings. So I thought that they would be fun. And then since I haven't really done a whole lot of speed puzzling, I thought that it might be nice to kind of like do this one as like a little bit of a warm up. And then I could go into my actual puzzle from Nationals to see how I do. So if you didn't watch my Nationals video, first of all, I think you should. I think it was a pretty decent recap of like my experience. But by the end of my round, I had 32 pieces left, which for me was pretty great. If you're unfamiliar, sorry, let's backtrack. At Nationals, they had 4 rounds. My round was round A, and each round you had an hour and a half to complete your puzzle. Like I was saying, at the end of my round, I had 32 pieces left, so I didn't finish the puzzle. In fact, I technically never have completed this puzzle still. So I want to try to do it today and see how long it takes me. Mind you, I've now done this puzzle more or less once, and I'm very familiar with the image for the most part, although I haven't really like spent much time with it since all of that. So I'm curious to see if I can get it done in under an hour and a half. Either way, the puzzle's getting done today. But like I said, we're going to start off with this one. And this is one of those, like I said, like unmarked, unnamed puzzles. Ignore the teeth marks. Yeah. I am curious to see what is going on in this one. So it does come with a poster, actually like a really large poster, actually. Not large, but like this is a good size poster. And I think this won't be like too hard to speed puzzle. I always say that sort of thing and then end up taking 5 effort. But these pieces are huge. This is the kind of puzzle that has like the letters on the back. So, but I don't plan on using them. These pieces are pretty big. In fact, what is this? Hold on. Okay, it looked like plastic pieces because it's like, I don't know what this is. It's like cardboard or something in the middle, but then on the top and back, on like the front side and back side of the piece, it's like a plasticky coating. So it is a little bit glossy. I don't know if you can really quite tell, but I don't know. This is interesting. I'm not sure how this will go with speed puzzling because they do have a bit of slip to them. So I don't know if that will affect like when you're trying to grab pieces, you know, if they'll be a little bit too slippery, too slidey. Either way, we'll see. It's like 9:30 at night. And if this one takes me like an hour and that one takes me like an hour and a half, that's like 2.5 hours. That puts me on what? Around like midnight. Probably pushing 1. Let's just get started. Okay, so I just finished with the otherwise unnamed puzzle, and honestly, it wasn't so bad. I actually really enjoyed it for the most part. The hold wasn't great, but that's honestly kind of the only con that I had with this puzzle. Also, that it is kind of glossy, but otherwise, I liked it. The image is pretty fun. I'm not entirely sure if this is like AI generated or what, especially because there's like no information about the puzzle basically at all, so I have no idea, but I did like it. This one I did my flip, and then I kind of just went with, this was one that was truly just going wherever. So I was starting with like the board, I don't know what you call it, like the roof pieces, and so I pulled those out first, and then I kind of ended up pulling out some of like the bicycle, and then like the cat kind of stood out, so I put the cat together as I found the pieces. And then from there I pulled out some of the purples, like the brighter purples that were like the shutters up, or the shingles, the shutters up at towards the top, and like the surfboard, because those were pretty like bright colors that like weren't anywhere else in the puzzle really. And then I worked on like the purple of the window, and then like the little signs on the side of the shack, those would kind of just stick out here and there, and so I'd grab those whenever I could. and then like the bright tealish door. And I just kind of went from there. After the door, I think I worked on like the steps. And then at some point I decided to go ahead and do the border so that way I could kind of like bring it all in. And then I finished up everything in the middle. I kind of got a little bit stuck slash like burnt out somewhere towards the middle, especially with like the white of like the fence and then all the trees and stuff that were left. I ended up kind of regaining my momentum, and then I went ahead and shape sorted towards the end because I was just like, you might as well shape sort. Especially because I think I was at like 54 minutes or something like that, or like 58 minutes or something. And I was like, okay, there I'm like pretty close to an hour. If I don't shape sort, it's gonna take me like 10 more minutes. If I shape sort, I can get this done close to an hour. And so I shape sorted, ended up figuring everything out. And so my final time was 1 hour and 40 seconds. Also in the middle, you'll see I stopped because I was hearing noises outside my house. And I had to stop because I was like, what is happening? I didn't see anything outside. Maybe there are like animals on the roof. I don't know. But anyways, 1 hour and 40 seconds. So that was pretty close to my goal of getting it under an hour. Was it a great time for a 300-piece puzzle? No, but for me, I'm happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one down. Honestly, I don't feel like breaking it apart. So I'm just going to move it to the side, and then I'm going to see if I can go ahead and knock out the Tropical Vibes puzzle. So let's do that. I don't have much of a plan going into doing the Tropical Vibes puzzle. I haven't touched it really since Nationals, so I don't know. I feel like I'm probably going to end up solving it pretty similarly to how I did the first time, like just picking out those different like colors of the different house shack things and then working from there. The hardest part last time was definitely the palm trees. So I'm just going to push those to the side and save that for last. Like I said, at Nationals, I had 32 pieces left at an hour and a half. So in theory, it would have taken me, I don't know, let's just say like an hour and 35 minutes if I had kept going. If that, honestly, maybe like an hour and 32 minutes or something. So my goal is an hour and a half because that's, well, what I was supposed to solve it in. So I'm gonna get set up and see how it goes. Okay, so I went into this one thinking that I was gonna do it pretty much exactly the same way that I did it back at Nationals, and I did not like at all. I don't remember entirely how I did it back then, but I know it wasn't like this. So I did my flip, which was taking me forever. I was over it, but I was doing a flip and also pulling out the border at the same time, so that always slows me down. So I ended up actually doing the border first, which I did not do the first time. I did the border, except that I had some mix-ups down with the bottom with the flowers and things. So I kind of let that go. And then I think I was missing like one or two pieces here and there. After I did the border, I pulled out the pieces that had like stripes on them. So the pieces that are like the doors and the windows and like the awning and things like that. I pulled out those pieces and I put together the red and yellow little shack pretty easily, I would say. And then I kind of moved on to the blue and purple one. And then here and there, I had some pieces of that shack off to the left that's like red with like the blue and greenish door. And so I was kind of working on those, pulling out pieces as I found them. And then I kind of started working on the flowers. I think I pulled out the white and orange flowers first because those are like, there's only so many pieces of those. And then I think I kind of worked on the fence because I was like, okay, I think if I can get the fence done, I'll have like a nice little middle piece to kind of go off of. After that, I kind of bounced around with the flowers. I think the next thing I ended up working on were those like up and down green and yellow leaf things. I think I used to know the name of those, but I don't remember now. Anyways, I worked on those and that was pretty okay. You do kind of know that they have to go up and down, so you know that the pieces have to be oriented that way, but still there's so many of them and trying to figure out that little section took me a little minute. And then somewhere in there, I went ahead and did the little ocean section. I almost know for a fact that back at Nationals, the little ocean piece with the sailboat was almost the last thing that I did. But this time I saw the pieces, so I just went ahead and went for it and did pretty much all of it. And then I kind of went back to the flowers, I think, and I started working on the trees. And then from there, I was really just kind of putting in what I could find. And then before I knew it, I was kind of back at the point where it's just kind of sky and green left. I went ahead and started working on the sky, but for some reason, it wasn't like something wasn't clicking. And so then I was kind of bouncing back around with the other things that were left. And then it was really just like the green pieces left. So I ended up shape sorting, even though I had like a good bit of pieces left. I think by the time I shape sorted, I was at like an hour 25, an hour 22, something like that. And I feel like I was further behind than I was back then. So maybe like the lack of adrenaline, the lack of pressure. Also, I'm sleepy. It's like 1 a.m. or something. So maybe that slowed me down. Also, like I said, I haven't really been speed puzzling. So the combination of all those things, it took me a while. So my final time ended up being 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 7 seconds. Like I was saying, if back at Nationals, if I had kept going at that time, I think I would have finished somewhere around 1 hour 35-ish, if not a little bit less. So was I like too far off from my original time? No. So it's not like terrible, but still, I feel like there's room for improvement. But now that I've done it more or less twice now, I think that I could keep getting better and better with this one. The thing is, like this, it's really the palm trees and then all those like green leaves, y'all know me and the greenery. I don't know what it is. My brain just refuses to focus when it comes to the greenery, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, I think this time the flowers were a lot less intimidating, and like the shack things weren't too bad. Those were pretty easy the first time too, but it still just came down to the palm trees and then all the extra green stuff around. So I've just got to work on that. I don't even know how I can practice greenery other than just doing a lot of greenery puzzles, and that sounds horrible. So I don't know. I'll have to just keep working on that. All right, you guys. I think that ended up being a pretty successful night of speed puzzling. Not like my best times ever, but definitely not my worst. And so I'll take it. I was pleasantly surprised by that first, unnamed puzzle, and I'm glad that I was finally able to finish my puzzle from Nationals. I know that for a while there, it was kind of off and on as to whether or not Ravensburger had these puzzles in stock. So if I can link it, I'll have it linked down below. And then the other one, I don't even know what to search for. So if I happen to find it, I'll link it. But if not, I don't know. I don't know. Down in the comments, let me know how I did compared to like what you were thinking I would do. Did I do better? Did I do worse about what you were thinking? Let me know. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you as always for watching my videos, and I will see you in my next one.